Welcome everyone. Here we are going to the session 2, Nyaya, philosophy of logic, reasoning, and what is that is the verbal testimony. So in this video we will be discussing we will slightly do a revision of the session 1, and also we'll discussing the Shabda, which is verbal testimony, and scientifically verifiable facts from the Indian verbal testimony, that is the Indian knowledge system. So, what is verbal testimony or called as Shabda? Previously, we have seen Pratyaksha and Anuman. There are three ways of gaining knowledge: Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. Pratyaksha, we have seen, Pratyaksha means the direct perceptions. Anuman means based on the direct perception, we have a hypothesis. And now, third type of gaining the knowledge is introduction to the Shabda, that is the verbal testimony. So, Shabda is considered a valid form of knowledge in Indian philosophy. It refers to instructive statements made by a reliable person who possesses the true knowledge, who is truthful and well-wishing. So, what is Shabda? Shabda means knowledge coming from knowledgeable, well-wishing, authoritative source. That is called as Shabda. Right. We will be seeing multiple examples of this. So, there are two essential conditions for the validity of the Vedic verbal testimony. First is understanding the statement. The meaning of the statement given as testimony must be perfectly understood by the listener, because it is like the Shabda Praman, somebody is speaking and we are hearing, so the statement has to be understood in spirit and letter, both. And the second condition is the trustworthiness of the speaker. The person making the statement must be trustworthy and is often referred as Apta. Apta means one who is knowledgeable and truthful. So when they are satisfying these both two crucial conditions, then the Shabda or the verbal testimony can act as a very powerful source of knowledge transmission. When we talk about the Shabda Praman is basically there are two main categories: the testimony on the perceptible objects and the testimony on the supersensible realities. So there are realities which are within our sense perception. These are the perceptible objects. And there are realities, metaphysical realities or the spiritual realities, which are beyond the perception. Not only from the spiritual perspective, even from the modern scientist's perspective, like the physicist talking about atom. You have never seen what the atom is, but the reality exist just beyond just the immediate sensing of the reality. So this is what we are going to discuss in this Shabda Praman. Right. So let us come to the question. When the child is born, everybody knows who is the mother of the child. The mother is admitted to the hospital and the doctors operate, the child is born, everybody is saying happy birthday, mother is very... So everyone knows who is mother of the child. Only mother knows who is father of the child. Right. Only mother knows who is father of the child. Everybody knows who is the mother of the child. Now to find, if the child wants to find who is my father, the child has one way that he can go across and check the genes or try to have the DNA test of all the males existing in the vicinity. Now just a rough calculation is that even if you want to do this kind of activity, this is called as inductive knowledge, trying to find by experiment who is my father without asking the mother, because we don't want to ask anybody, we don't have faith in anybody. Then the medical test by this genetic fingerprint will take around 800 years to identify a lot of 200 men, and one of whom may be likely your father. So look at this time span. Okay, so nobody is going to live for 800 years. Neither everybody is going to give their blood sample and DNA to check and match with your curiosity. So here in this case, trying to know who is my father without asking mother is a futile attempt. What is the easy way? Just ask your mother and she will tell you your father. This is called as deductive knowledge. So previously it is inductive knowledge that is going upwards, that is based on my experimentation, whereas the deductive knowledge means I believe in a source who is knowledgeable, authentic and well-wishing, just like my mother. A mother to child is authentic, knowledgeable, she knows about the father, she is authentic, and she is well-wisher of the child, and she can very easily guide the child to the father. So again, this very question, who is my father, we believe in the answer by deductive knowledge, and that is called as Shabda Praman. Right? Shabda Praman means accepting the reality from a bona fide, knowledgeable, well-wishing, authoritative knowledge. Right? Vedas, therefore, they are called as Veda Mata. So Veda, literally the word Veda comes from Vid, Sanskrit dhatu. Vid means to know. So Veda is all about knowledge. So Vedas, when it is all about knowledge, these Vedas, they are called as Veda Mata, because Vedas, they are going to point towards the Supreme Father, who is the Supreme Lord. Right? So Vedas are predominantly divided into Shruti and Smriti. The Shruti means the revealed absolute truth, where every word is unchanged eternally, that is called as a Shruti. So this knowledge which is called as Apaurusheya, directly coming from the Supreme Lord. And the Smriti means the composition which is based on the Shruti, but this composition is done by sages from time to time, and therefore the wording may change from age to age. So Shruti and Smriti, there is a difference. Shruti means the words will absolutely remain the same. There will be no change of a single comma, alphabet, syllable, nothing. But the Smriti, it is the evolving literature which is based on Shruti. So here the Shruti is subdivided into three parts called as Veda, Upaveda and Vedanga. So there are four types of Veda: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda. Also Vedas consist of Samhitas, which predominantly consist of mantras. Then the Brahmanas, which are the ritualistic explanation of the mantras, Aranyaka and Upanishada. Okay. So these are the subdivisions of the Vedas. Then there are the Upaveda like Dhanurveda, Ayurveda, so on and so forth. So Veda means knowledge. Ayurveda means, the knowledge of the life. Dhanurveda means knowledge of the, knowledge of the military archery. So this is, and then there are Vedanga. Which are the Vedangas? Vedangas are the Kalpa, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chanda and Jyotisha. So all these are coming from the Shruti aspect of the Vedic knowledge. Then there is a Smriti, and Smriti talks about the rituals, the tantras, the pancharatras, Puranas, Itihasas and the Shadadarshan. And this entirely the Shadadarshan, what we are discussing here, currently we are discussing Nyaya. So Shadadarshan has the 6 aspects: Vedanta, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga and Sankhya. So one after another we are going to study these. So this entirely contributes to the Vedic knowledge. And you will be surprised to know Vedas contains 1 lakh Sanskrit shlokas. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakh, 100 lakh, 1000 lakhs, 10,000 lakhs, 1 lakh Sanskrit shlokas. This is the composition of the Vedic knowledge. Okay. So now this the remaining part of the PPT we are going to see, presentation we are going to see, how not in the Vedas, even in the modern science, there is something called as you accept and go ahead. Sometimes people may say, no, prove it, then I will go ahead. No sir, you have to accept certain things and then you have to go ahead. This is called as axiomatic truth, which means gruhitak. Gruhitak means you have to gruhit dharna kisi vastu ko, you have to accept it and then you go ahead. Accept without a proof and then you go ahead. This we are talking about, mind you, about the science. This is the self-evident theory which requires no proof. This is called as axiomatic truth, right? Like for a definition of a point. How the point is defined? Point is defined as a circle with a radius 0. How the segment is defined? Segment is defined as when there is a collection of the points that forms a segment. Somebody may say, well sir, the point has the radius 0. Collection of the zeros, will it have some measurement? So yeah, it has a measurement. It is 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 1 meter, so on and so forth. So here, the funny part is the point has the radius 0, but the segment, which is made up of multiple points, it measures. Okay, but this definition of point you accept as the axiomatic truth. Another is imaginary number I. Okay, root minus 1, that is called as I, complex number I. Now, this number cannot be plotted. Both are beyond the proof in theory, but they exist in reality. Now look at this. You cannot prove them in theory, but they exist in reality. And that's why here in the corner there is a quote by Albert Einstein. The more I study science, the more I believe in God. In the previous discussion we have seen that how when little bit of science will make you atheist and lot of science will make you theist. Okay, these are some of the quotes from the great scientists. Similarly, when we talk of the axiomatic truth, which come from the Vedic truth, so we have to have faith. Sometimes people feel that the Vedas, when they talk of some truth, no, but you again first you apply that truth and then try to confirm along with the modern science. So it is not greatness of the Vedas that they match with the modern science. It is greatness of the modern science that it is started matching with the Vedas, because Vedic truths they are apaurushaya, unchangeable. It is not like the scientific version 1 something, version 2 something, version 3 something. Atom is final, it cannot be it cannot be broken, then atom is broken, then atom is broken into quarks, neutron, proton, so on and so forth. No. So the modern science may keep on evolving and changing, whereas the Vedic science, because the Vedic truths, they appear from a non-defective source, apaurushaya, therefore, just like for example the cow dung. Cow dung was treated as the pure, and in the ancient times means as back as 50 years back, the houses, even today, the houses in the villages, they are they are given with the cow dung. So, and now we prove that the cow dung has great antiseptic properties. Similarly, the earth was called as a bhugol. Modern science took a long time to come to understanding that they actually accepted it as a flat earth, and they accepted that when you reach the end of the earth, you will fall in the ditch or you fall in the hell. But the very word for the Prithvi is Bhugola. Gola means round, Bhu means Prithvi or earth. Bhugola, it's a round earth. Okay. Then the plants having life. We know that Jagdish Chandra Bose, he finally proved. But the modern science accepted that the plants do not have life. They are just the chemicals growing. But the Vedas always talked about plants having, they are Sajiva, plants having life. And not only life, you must have heard from your mother that don't touch the plants, they are sleeping now, you should not touch the plants in the night, you should be very careful when you are plucking the flowers, you should not hurt the plant, treating the plant as a personality, because plants do have life. Vedic predictions also talked about, you will be very surprised to know this now. Buddha was predicted, Chanakya was predicted, King Ashoka was predicted, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is predicted. All these predictions we will see from here. It is written as SB. SB stands for Srimad Bhagavatam. And not only about these great personalities, even Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, they were all predicted in Bhavishya Puran, Atharva Veda. Okay, so if you just go to this SB, SB stands for Srimad Bhagavatam, and you can just Google it, the way it is, SB, you can just go SB 1.3.24. So we'll go here, SB 1.3.24, and here you come to Veda base, and here you come to the prediction about Buddha, Lord Buddha. So tatah kalau sampravrittaye sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna anjani sutah kikateshu bhavishyati. Then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful theist. So here, Lord Buddha, who is a powerful incarnation of the personality of Godhead, is predicted, because Lord Buddha appeared 2500 years ago, whereas Srimad Bhagavatam was written 5000 years ago. So Srimad Bhagavatam is predicting appearance of Lord Buddha there, and not only predicting, his mother's name is predicted, Anjana. His place of appearance is predicted as Gaya, where Lord Buddha appeared. Also we can see here, if you go to this SB 12.1.12, now the Srimad Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, 12 sections, and the 12th canto is dedicated to Kali Yuga, and that talks about various different dynasties that they will appear in Kali. So let's go to this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is SB 12.1.12, and some. So again I go here, Google it, SB 1.12, 12.1.12, and just close it here. So this goes to, now here you will see, all these great kings being mentioned. Okay, here there is a description of Chanakya here. Sa eva Chandraguptam vai dvijo rajye bhikshati tatsuto varisarastu tatasya ashokavardhana. Okay, this Brahmana Chanakya will enthrone Chandragupta, whose son will be named as Varisar, and the son of Varisar will be Ashokavardhan. And then, one after another, the dynasties of Ashokavardhan is being, you can refer to this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, very, very beautiful, describing about what is Kali Yuga, and a certain Brahmana Chanakya will betray the trust of the king Nanda and his 8 sons and will destroy their dynasty. In their absence, the Mauryas will rule the world as the age of Kali continues. So this is how the Vedas, they predicted, about these great personalities. Vedas also predict appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, is the incarnation of the Lord, or at least a great saint that can be accepted, who appeared in West Bengal, and he's very clearly predicted. Similarly, in the Bhavishya Puran, there is a description of Jesus Christ, so on and so forth. So the Vedas have predicted the birth of great personalities way in advance, right? So these are the various predictions of the Vedas. Now, somebody may say, how can I accept Vedas? And it is, but when we have already seen that whenever you accept science, you automatically accept something called as axiomatic truth. So the science also accepts the axiomatic truth. Similarly, it's about the Vedas, the Vedic testimony. Okay, so we are, some of the knowledge that is coming from the Vedas that we are going to see. So, and this is how we will discover the glory of India. Now, very quickly we are going to go through this. This is a big, very big topic, but I'm just giving you some hints here so that you can Google it and feel a great pride being Indian and studying the Indian philosophy. So India is considered as the oldest civilization, at least a recorded history of 10,000 years. Of course, the Indian civilization, the word is Sanatana. Sanatana means which has neither beginning nor an end. It is perpetual civilization, and that's why you will see the huge structures in the southern part of India, a testimony to the great Indian the civilization. India is the only country which never invaded any other country for last 10,000 years of the recorded history. Okay, India is never known for the slavery. It is the richest country even up to the 17th century. You have the recorded history of India accounting 32 to 35% of GDP 1000 years back, and slowly, because of the exploitation of the Mughal rule and then the British rule, it was the India was reduced to what India it is, and now again it is picking up here, back to being Vishwaguru, back to being the great glorious Indian culture. Columbus, when he was searching for wealth, he actually was searching for India, and when he accidentally landed on at the continent of America, he thought that the land has come, and therefore he started shouting India, 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 and the natives there are known as Red Indians, because Christopher Columbus, he mistook America to be India, but he was actually looking for India when he accidentally discovered America. So here is a beautiful quote by Mark Twain on glories of India. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of the human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and the most instructive material in the history of man is treasured up in India only. Right. So India, the Vedas, they talk about Ayurveda. Ayurveda is Maharshi Shushruta, who is considered as a father of surgery. And around 3,000 years ago, he and his health scientists, they were the ones, who first performed the surgery. So Charak is considered as a father of medicine, and Sushrut is considered as father of surgery. Now this statue of Sushrut is there at the Royal Australia College of Surgeons, Melbourne. Okay, so this is not some Indian perspective or talking about some Rashtra Bhakta about this. No, these are the universally accepted truths. And this is the statue of Surgeon Sushrut in the Royal Australia College of Surgeons, Melbourne. Okay. Vedas described about the human embryology. Okay, the human embryology, the science is very, very new as the 50 years old, 100-year-old, when you have the sonography, the technique being developed. But the Indian science, Vedic science, talked about the birth of the child and the progress of the child. Now this is very clearly explained in, again, the same literature called as Srimad Bhagavatam. And here you will see, just type Srimad Bhagavatam 3.31.1, and here there is a clear description of how the child's birth takes place. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Karmana Daiva Netrena Janturdeho Papadyate Striya Pravishta Utaram Pumsoreta Kanashrayah. So when the man and woman meet, and how how the particular type of a body is being formed is very elaborately described in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kalalam tvekaratrena pancharatrena budbudam dashahena tu karkandu peshandam va tatah param. On the first night, the sperm and the ovum mix, and on the fifth night, the mixture ferments into a bubble. The 10th night, it develops into a form like a plum, and after that, it gradually turns into a lump of flesh or an egg, as the case may be. So it is, and then there is a further description of how that, in the course of a month, the head is formed. At the end of the 2 months, the hands, feet, and the other limbs take shape. By the end of the 3 months, the nails, fingers, toes, body hair, bones, and the skin appear, as do the organs of generation and other apertures in the body, namely the eyes, nostrils, ears, mouth, and anus. So, a gradual description of the fetus within the womb of a mother is very clearly described in Srimad Bhagavatam 5,000 years ago, where the modern science is coming to this reality just last 50 years. So this is about the human embryology. Atomic physics. So we have already seen the quote from the Heisenberg, but he quotes, after the conversation about the Indian philosophy, some of the ideas of the quantum physics that had seemed to be so crazy suddenly made so much of more sense. You know that time theory of relativity, time being relative, is way back proposed in the Vedas, that how in the higher planetary systems the lifespans are greater and time flows much slower way. Astronomy discusses about Surya Siddhanta, where they calculated the Earth's diameter to the precise as 7,840 miles. The modern measurements are 7,926 miles. Look at so these calculations were done 5,000 years ago, right? Also, it showed the distance between the Earth and the Moon, and that distance is, the Earth and the Moon distance in the Vedas is 2,53,000 miles, whereas the modern distance comes to 2,52,710 miles. Look at the precision at which there is, the Surya Siddhanta also describes about, there are various other truths like Navagrahas, the Gati of the Navagrahas. Bhaskaracharya calculated the solar day to the precision of 365.2578 days. This was way back in the 5th century, right? And this is also a recorded history in the scripture called as Siddhanta Shiromani. This is about the astronomy. Okay. So way 1,000 years, 1,000 years before the Copernicus, before he published, Aryabhatta, he published the theory, and he stated that the earth is revolving around the sun, and the person is traveling in a boat feels that the tree on the banks are moving. Similarly, people on the earth feel that the sun is moving, but actually the earth is moving around the sun and not the sun is moving around the earth. So it is generally attributed to Copernicus, but 1,000 years before Copernicus, this Siddhanta was published by Aryabhatta way back in 5th century, right? So similarly, this is very, very amazing. Similarly, Bhaskaracharya, he proposed the Siddhanta of law of gravity 1200 years before Newton, and these are accepted facts. Okay, objects fall on earth due to the force of attraction by earth. Therefore, the earth, planets, constellation, moon and the sun are held in orbit due to this attraction called as karshana or sankarshana or gravity. Later it was attributed to Newton, But way 1200 years before Newton, this was actually published by Bhaskaracharya. And similarly, one can say